We're here at the Muskoka Capital Conference. Joining me is Greg Bose, CEO of Northern Graphite Corporation. Greg, why should investors care about graphite?
Well, Caitlin, you can hardly read the paper or turn on the news these days without hearing something about electric vehicles, phasing out the internal combustion engine, all of that kind of stuff. And the technology that's critical to that process is lithium-ion batteries. And the three main minerals that are used in lithium-ion batteries are lithium, cobalt, and graphite. And I think the real important takeaway for investors is that the automobile market is huge. Those three minerals are small specialty markets. So in my mind, we are not talking about electric vehicles taking over the world. If electric vehicles became 3, 4, 5% of new car sales, multiple new lithium, cobalt, and graphite mines would be required. If you look at what has happened to the prices of lithium and cobalt over the last year, both have skyrocketed. And that's because of lithium-ion battery demand. Graphite has been the poor cousin so far, but in the last 2 months, the price of graphite is up over 30%. China produces 75% of the world's graphite, is having production problems. So graphite is finally showing signs of doing what lithium and cobalt have already done. You cannot have an electric vehicle industry without lithium, cobalt, and graphite, and lots of it. Right. So investors should take a very close look at graphite because there are still opportunities there that there are not in lithium and cobalt.
I see. And what makes Northern Graphite stand out?
Well, Caitlin, we were the first new graphite company, if you will, back in 2009. I think we're widely respected as being one of the leaders in the industry. We're very professional, we're very analytical. We try to stay away from the hype that gets involved in a lot of junior resource companies. We are not a grassroots stage exploration project. We have a full feasibility study. We have our major environmental permit. So we could start construction in the spring, pending financing. But even more than that, if you look at our particular deposit, it's located about 2.5 hours from here, actually, between North Bay and Ottawa, 5 hours from the Port of Montreal, best flake size distribution, which means the highest value concentrates in the industry, the highest margin, the lowest capital cost, the best economics. Mm-hmm. So we think that Northern Graphite has the best undeveloped project in the industry if you look at it in its entirety. And we've got to this point with only 60 million shares outstanding. So tight capital structure, industry-leading project, and a graphite market and price trend that is just starting to turn. So we think that makes a fairly attractive package for potential investors.
Okay, and looking ahead, what should investors pay attention to with regard to graphite?
Well, the real key is China, because China produces 75 to 80% of the world's graphite. It has a number of production problems. It has a number of environmental problems. There are many mine closures going on over there because the government is serious about cleaning that stuff up. Also, they want to dominate the lithium-ion battery space. They don't want to sell us cheap raw materials. They want to sell us batteries, or better yet, electric cars. They are also building a stockpile equal to 80% of their annual production, which is telling the rest of the world, we need to keep our graphite here. It's a critical resource. There's a looming supply problem. Both the EU and the USA have declared graphite a supply critical mineral. So I think the thing to really watch over the next 4 or 5 or 6 months is more supply problems from China, improving steel demand, which is another big factor in graphite demand, and higher prices. Higher prices are the key to the whole equation.
Right. Well, sounds very promising. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been my pleasure, Caitlin.